Hi everybody, welcome to our pilot episode. For those of you who haven't been following along with the blog, Nathan and I have decided to start doing a video series where we discuss any and all things mental health together. We both have very different backgrounds in experience and education with mental health, so we often see and experience those kind of events very differently. So I guess for starters, we'll just sort of introduce ourselves and explain our backgrounds a little bit, and we'll go from there.
All right. I'll go first, I suppose. I'm Nate. I'm Jenny's husband. I guess my history, my background with mental illness is very limited. I was fairly sheltered when I was younger. Really didn't get a whole lot of exposure to really anything. And it wasn't until I started dating Jenny that, my eyes were kind of open and...
Came in like a wrecking ball.
And I got a reality check of how life really is, I suppose. I'm really hoping that with this video series that, I can help others that are in my shoes, I guess, that don't really have the exposure to mental illness or don't have the understanding of mental illness, that I can help provide, a better understanding, maybe some, tips and tricks for just wrapping your head around it. It's not even necessarily that, you don't want to understand. It's just something so foreign. So I'm hoping that maybe I can help the world be better spouses or friends or family or just better people, I suppose. So
I like it. Okay, so my name is Jenny Jessen. I write the blog that you're watching this video from. And obviously my experience with mental health is a bit more intensive than Nathan's. For starters, I got my degree in psychology at Iowa State University. I spent several years after that doing social work, a couple different places, but mostly working with 17 to 25-year-olds that had some kind of chronic mental illness. The whole point was to kind of help them learn to live with those symptoms, manage their illnesses, and work through all of the fun complications that being symptomatic can lead to. Lots of variety there. On a more personal note, I have quite a few family members who suffer from mental illness, varying degrees of severity. Personally, I've also struggled with depression and anxiety. Those are the two big ones. I've also got some PTSD symptoms and the occasional panic attack, which has been a really fun combination for both of us to learn to live with. So, clearly when Nathan and I run into some kind of experience where, say, somebody's out in public and they're exhibiting some really strange behavior, we're both going to look at that very differently. We're going to respond very differently because we have very different levels of understanding about what's happening. So the whole point of this is to be able to ask all those questions that probably sound really harsh or politically incorrect or dumb or any other weird phrasing that you want to use for something you just don't feel comfortable asking. For example, one of the questions that Nathan and I have talked through, obviously long before we got married, but at one point he said, it was something along the lines of, I know that you're depressed, but why don't you just get up? And if you don't have depression, that's a very legitimate question and something that you should probably ask, especially if you know people with depression. But if you have depression, that can sound very harsh. So this is sort of an opportunity to bridge that gap, to ask those questions. We'll talk through everything together. I'm hoping we can also find other people who might be willing to do videos with us, people who have different diagnoses or people who have similar views to Nathan, but maybe even less experience than him, or more, any kind of variation. So if you're interested in doing a video with us, please let us know. Other than that, I guess the next big step is to ask you all for topics. What do you want to know? What do you want to ask? If you have something that you don't know how to word properly, you're worried about offending us, first of all, you won't. But if you want to submit something anonymously, that's completely fine. You can email it to either Nathan or I, whoever you think is going to not think you're the weirdest.
We won't think you're weird.
We will absolutely never talk about who submitted what question. It's all going to be completely anonymous on your end, so don't worry about that. So please send us lots of ideas. If you want to email them, text them, Snapchat them, send them through the mail in an unmarked envelope. I don't care how you get them here, but we want to open up the ability to have those awkward conversations and make it easier for people to have them with the people in their own lives, because we had to learn to do that together, obviously. So if we can help somebody else do that too, that would be probably the best outcome. So anything else you want to add?
Obviously this is unscripted.
Yes, they will all be unscripted and unedited. The whole point is to be open and genuine and honest about mental health stuff, including my own. So I guess that's sort of the long, polite version of the disclaimer that you're probably going to see me cry at some point, but it's fine. Anything you want to talk about, we're even willing to talk about how personally we got through certain experiences. Things that are happening in politics, literally anything you can think of, mental health related, just throw it out there. So I think that's all we got. Please send us your questions, send us your topics. Our contact information is below. If you want our mailing address, just send me a quick message or a post on my blog or anything, and I'll get that for you. I just don't want to post it on the internet. Same with our phone numbers. Like I said, any way you want to get it to us, we will happily accept it, and we would love to talk about it. So that's all we got, and hope to hear from you guys soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.